Welcome, parents. This is Dr. Mack, and thank you so much for being here with us and taking part in our first grade curriculum webinar for second semester. Just a few reminders about the webinar. If we are going to hold all questions till the end of the presentation, if you would like to submit a question to the first grade team or to me, if you look at the bottom of your screen, depending on the device that you have, you'll see an option that says chat. Thank you, Mr. Nama. That is the way that you can submit a question to us. Please feel free to go ahead and type in a question in the moment. Just know that we won't get to the question till the end of the presentation by the teachers. This allows us to get through our information and then be able to spend dedicated time answering questions for you. Also, I want to introduce who's in the room today. We have Mrs. McFarland, we have Mrs. T, Ms. Tereshinsky. We also have Ms. King, and Mr. Nama is in the room with us as well, just managing the technology for us. There's a couple of times in the presentation where we are going to bring up some internet websites, and I'm going to help you, remind you of some use of both the school website as well as GoMath. And just a reminder that this is being recorded, so if you know someone wasn't able to join us for the live version, we will upload it in the next day or two to the elementary school parent page as well as the teacher home pages, so you will be able to access that YouTube link once Mr. Nama gets it uploaded and sent on to us. So without further ado, we're going to jump in with the first grade team, and I'm going to turn it over to them.
Welcome, parents. This is Maggie Tereshinsky, and I'm just going to kind of go over kind of what you're going to hear and see today during our webinar. The first thing we're going to talk about are any upcoming curriculum changes or things that you should be on the lookout as we go through the rest of our year. You'll also see some changes in expectations, and then last but not least, some upcoming events. The first thing we'd like to discuss is our phonics and spelling. So far this year, we have covered our short vowel spelling rules, and we have started some of our long vowel spelling rules, such as Magic E. I've listed out some of the phonics concepts for the rest of the year. You'll see things like vowel teams, boss-er, consonant LE, diphthongs, 3 sounds of Y, reading hard and soft C and G, and compound words and multi-syllable words. As we go through the year, on our spelling test, we will no longer have a bonus sentence. The sentence will now start counting towards part of our test. This is just helping the students learn how to apply their spelling rules within a sentence. Something we started this week is also syllable division. Students will learn 7 syllable types, and they'll learn how to label and divide words into different syllables. We realize that this is something that might be very foreign to you, but we are excited to kind of share it with you, and I think the students are really excited to kind of bring the work home to you and kind of show you how to divide words into syllables. Something else we will do is another Brain Boost Foundations assessment. We will also add in a DIBELS test, which focuses on fluency. During our conferences, we'll be able to kind of discuss their scores with you and go over how they're doing in both phonics and fluency. Another topic that we're really going to focus on this year or this semester is fluency. Students are starting to learn how to become more fluent readers. They now kind of have the foundation, and so we're looking to help them not necessarily sound like robots, but really pay attention to punctuation, expression, and pace. We'll be starting things called hot versus cold reads. A cold read is when a student has read something for the first time. This could be a list of words, or it could be phrases. And then a hot read means that they've now read it several times, and so the read becomes a hot read. We're going to kind of work on first reading words, then we'll move to phrases, sentences, paragraphs, and then hopefully paragraphs within a story. We're going to be practicing how to become strong readers with a good pace and expression. You might have seen already come home different sight word packets, so students are practicing their sight words. We will also be introducing fluency folders. These will be kept at school, but they're things that students will put in the words that they've been reading and some of their hot versus cold reads. Here is an example of one of the fluency sheets that you might see come home or might see in their folder. This one on the left kind of shows different words that we've had with our phonics concept. So for example, you'll see floss words on there, magic-y words, TCH, DGE words. These are going to, all of the words that will be on these lists will be words that they've had as a spelling concept. We'll continue to add to the list and include sometimes nonsense words to read as well. The little packet on the right is the sight word packet that you might see coming home. This is just a great way for your student to practice their sight words and kind of bump up to the next level each time they read a page to the teacher.
Hi everyone, this is Laura McFarland. So we're going to talk about journeys. So this semester we will continue reading a journey story each week, and we will be reading a mixture of fiction and nonfiction texts. We will also begin to highlight more science and social study topics through our nonfiction texts. Also, within your reading bags, please make sure that you are continuing to do your reading bags and that your children really go over the books. This will help them a lot on their comprehension test each week. And like we will talk about a little bit later, comprehension tests will no longer be read to your child. They will have to read the questions and answers by themselves.
Hi parents, this is Asha King. This semester we're still going to be writing in our journals. However, our expectations as far as how many sentences we're expecting to see them write has increased. We're now looking for students to be writing at least 5 sentences each time they write in their journal. Some areas that we're going to focus on with our writing lessons are to show the students how to write personal narratives, do some persuasive writing work, some how-to writing, and we're also going to be doing some review work with grammar. We started focusing on nouns, verbs, adjectives, and commas in a series last semester, but we'll do more review work and start looking for that to be in their writing even more. And then the final thing we'll be working on with writing is author's purpose and looking at how that connects to reading.
This semester, we are going to be covering 8 chapters in math. This will cover operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. Right now, we are currently working on chapter 5, addition, subtraction, relationships. We will also be touching on things such as measurement, shapes, and telling time.
Right now, we're going to kind of show you how to log into our Think Central website, which is our math website. Just a little side note that if you would like to access this via your iPad, we encourage you to download the Puffin app, and I've got kind of an example of what that looks like. It's just a better access for your iPads. As far as username goes, each child will have their own username, and it's going to be their first initial and last name. And then their password is Warriors, all lowercase. When you go to thinkcentral.com and you go to log in, you're going to first click through. Your state will be Georgia, district will be private school, and obviously your school will be St. Martin's, and then you can put in your username and your password. Once you're logged in, you will kind of see this student homepage. I put kind of 2 stars next to the categories that you're going to see or we're going to use most often. Now, in first grade, we will not necessarily be assigning different assignments on the website, but you can still access all of these things, and this will be something that you will continue to use all the way through elementary school and into middle school. So the first thing that starts is things to do. This is where if there is something assigned, let's say your student is out and we do assign something to your student, you will see it pop up under things to do. And the big one that we will actually use more as a first grade team is the My Library. So if you were to click on My Library, this next page will show up. And these are just different tools and little things you can click on to just help your student either reinforce a topic or kind of take it a step further.
And I'm going to jump in actually on this screen here. And excuse me, this is Dr. Matt. I do want to point out a couple of things just on this screen that I think are most important for you to be aware of and for you to use at home, because we completely understand that math is taught in a different way than really all of us were taught as we were coming through, because the whole emphasis on math is really teaching the process and application and not just the basic skills of math. And we understand that there's terminology in the process that you just might not be familiar with, so how do you help your child at home? On this screen, I'm going to point out one big thing that I think would be very beneficial for you as parents, and that's the Math on the Spot videos, tutorials. Mr. Nam is actually pointing to it on this screen right here. Good job, Chris, you're finding it right there. That actually is going to pull up videos that will walk you through how the math lesson was actually taught in class. So we are huge supporters of parents logging in and actually navigating to those Math on the Spot videos, because it reinforces the lesson with your child, but it also gives you some background knowledge as well as you're trying to help them navigate homework. The other thing that's also important down in the lower left-hand corner is the student edition. That's an interactive version of their actual print workbook. Where we find this come in handy for parents and students is if you are out of school, or heaven forbid they make it home without the workbook or the pages, like that would ever happen. You can always log into GoMath and you can navigate and find that page through the interactive student edition and still have access to the work.
Just as Dr. Mack kind of highlighted a few of the really important tools on the website, we kind of highlighted a couple in a little bit more detail. So the first one is the Personal Math Trainer. This can be found in the Things to Do inside of the Interactive Student Edition in your library. So if you were to click on this whistle, it will kind of walk you through certain problems. Now this is great because it is personalized to your child. So for example, if a child is answering the questions correct and this is actually fairly easy for them, it'll bump them up to a little bit of a harder level. Same thing if your child is struggling and is having some trouble with one of the problems, it'll kind of reinforce the topic and sort of walk them through how to solve the problems. Another thing is the Math on the Spot video, just like Dr. Mack had mentioned. You might see these on either their homeworks or inside of their workbooks. There is a QR scanner, and you can use your iPad and you can watch the videos. And a lot of times the video, for example, this one on the page shown, is kind of going through how to solve a similar problem to the Think Smarter problem that is given.
So parents, we do absolutely encourage you to use the online GoMath portal. It is one of the reasons why we chose this math program. We wanted to make sure we were choosing something that had a very robust support for our parents, knowing that math is taught differently than what we all grew up with. So if you have any concerns about logging into GoMath, all you have to do is reach out to your child's teacher and they will resend you the username and password for your child. And if you need help navigating any of the tools, you can reach out to your child's teacher, or you can reach out to me as well, and I'm happy to walk you through anything there. But I do want to reinforce something that was said earlier. This is going to be used all the way through St. Martin's. And I will tell you, 5th grade is the year where we really expect them to log in and do some of the things assigned or things to do, because I know Miss Larson in 5th grade actually does assign things through this portal. So the more exposure that we can give them to navigating this website, the better for them as they continue to progress through St. Martin's.
Along with GoMath, we are also going to be doing fast facts in our classroom. Right now, this is something that we do maybe once or twice a week, but we will start doing it a little bit more and actually taking little tests about 2 minutes long. They have to solve about 12 or 15 problems, addition and subtraction. And really, we're just trying to get them where they're automatic, where they're maybe pulling away from not using their fingers, but more just know that 2 + 2 is always 4. We are really preparing them for 2nd grade because they will start to take fast facts test then.
And parents, be on the lookout once summer begins for the summer math packet. It's something that will be uploading online. And July. It'll be happening in July, actually. July will be the month where you can be on the lookout for this summer math packet. We are uploading it at that time just to make sure that students are actually completing their work during the summer to help reduce that summer slide where they kind of forget a little bit of what they've learned from the previous year. So please be on the lookout for that in July and have your student work on it.
And parents, just a reminder, we will push out an announcement at the end of June letting you know that it is available and when it will be available, so you know when to go look online for it.
some of our social expectations that we are focusing on this year. We're going to be focusing on, or this semester rather, we're going to be focusing on more executive functioning type skills. We're going to be making sure that students are organized and that they're using their time management skills effectively as far as getting their work completed. And we definitely want to reinforce accountability for them turning things in on time and things like that. When they're turning things in, we also want to make sure that they're using their very best first grade handwriting and just putting forth their best effort in everything that they do. We'll also keep working on stamina. The stamina as far as their reading, how long they're able to read, and the fluency piece that we talked about earlier. And also their stamina with math facts, as we also touched a little bit on earlier with their fact fluency. And then also stamina with writing by looking for that length, that 5-sentence length instead of 3 from last semester.
So tests. So we will continue to have a vocabulary or phonics test, comprehension test, and a spelling test every week, just like last semester. And then when we have our math test, we will still have 8 of those this semester. But the difference is, except for spelling, all of these tests, they will have to read on their own. We are encouraging students to really read slowly all the questions and the choices, and to make sure that they are checking their work, to make sure they're not making any silly mistakes. They are also encouraged during the test, if they have questions, to ask. We're really just trying to build their level of independence and just making sure that they are ready for 2nd grade.
Projects. So we have a lot of fun projects coming up this semester. We will continue to do our monthly reading. You probably have seen our January reading come home. Something that we are adding on in 2nd semester is, in addition to their monthly reading log, they will also have some sort of mini project that goes with the monthly reading. So for example, in January, we're doing a biography in a bag. Just if you're not sure, it's due January 31st. It's just something to help them kind of now that we've been reading these books, can you now apply it and kind of put it into more of like a book report? In February, you will see a poster book report. In March, you will see just a reading log because of spring break. And then April and May, we kind of combine together, and this is a really fun activity. The students will be making a video or commercial for a book that they read. Another really fun project we have on the horizon is our state postcard project. We kind of start this in about March, and it kind of goes till the end of the year. Each classroom will try to collect postcards from every state. In addition, students will be assigned a state to research and report on. So kind of as you travel for spring break or Easter, or just if you know lots of friends in different areas, begin collecting and sending in postcards to your child's teacher. They can either be mailed in, or if your student wants to just bring in postcards. It's kind of a fun thing for us to just collect the postcards. It's a great way for students to learn about the different states, and we kind of put them up in the back of our room to display all the postcards. The kids have a lot of fun hearing what somebody wrote to them in the postcards as well. So just be on the lookout for that. We will give you more information around conference time about this project. And then our final project for the year will be our time to teach. That will be in May. Students will teach the class about something that interests them. So this is a fun way for the students to become the teacher. So we've had everything from how to swing a baseball bat to learning how to multiply 2 numbers together. So just a lot of fun for them to kind of pick something that interests them. This is something new that we are starting this year, and that is technology night homework. We will begin this on Wednesday night. So for example, your first one will be coming home tomorrow. And starting this semester, the students will be able to pick on Wednesday night. They can either use Rags Kids or Reading Eggs. We ask that the students spend about 10 minutes on the program. So this could, in that 10 minutes, you could read several books. Maybe some kids read 1 to 2, and then maybe take a comprehension quiz at the end. This will be in lieu of our spelling homework on Wednesday nights. but please be advised that students will still receive a paper copy of math homework. So just be kind of on the lookout, and we're going to be walking it through with the kids tomorrow, so they'll kind of have an idea of what they're supposed to do as well. Here is a sample of a sheet that you will see coming home. At the top will be the 2 logins, one for Raz Kids and one for Reading Eggs. What we kind of suggest is each Wednesday night you can pick and choose. If your child really loves Raz Kids, then they can continue reading on that. But we'd still like for them to also use Reading Eggs. So just pick one per night and spend about 10 minutes. And then what we ask of you is if you'll help us by just dating and signing below, just kind of signifying that your child has completed the lesson for 10 minutes. And as always, if you have any comments, just feel free to leave a little comment in the comment section.
Woohoo! The 100th day of school is almost here. Mark your calendars. It will be on Wednesday, January 30th.
Some ideas about what your child can wear on the 100th day, since we'll be dressing up as 100-year-old people, are things like skirts or glasses, pearls, wigs, suspenders, flannel shirts, mustaches. However, we are asking that students do not use any kind of gray hairspray, but anything else listed here in the note example is perfectly fine for students to wear.
In addition to dressing up, students will also be asked to bring in 100 small items that can fit into a Ziploc bag. We will then use these items in class, and we will have a 100-day museum where students will count their items and display them for everybody to see. Some field trips to look forward to. One that we have already marked down on our calendars is on Thursday, March 14th, and this is to the Piedmont Park Conservancy. We will get to see Buzz on bees. This is really neat for the students to kind of get to learn a little bit more about bees, and they have some great examples of some honeycombs, and they also get to visit kind of where they live in the Piedmont Park. Another one that we are trying to schedule right now is a Legoland Discovery. This will kind of go right along with our STEAM activities that we are doing this year. We are still trying to figure out a date, so as soon as we have the date solidified, we will let you know.
Attendance. Parents, if your child is going to be absent, please make sure that you're emailing Dr. Mack and then CC your child's teacher so we'll know also. Dr. Mack's going to get back to you to let you know whether or not the absence will be considered excused or unexcused, and also share that information with the receptionist. If you want more detailed information or just another reminder about that, there's an announcement on all of our web pages about it.
Conferences. We are excited to talk to all of you on Friday, February 22nd. Be on the lookout for a Sign Up Genius link that will be going out on Monday, February 4th. We're excited to see you then. Also, as it is starting to get a little cold on some days, please make sure that your child dresses appropriately. Make sure if they bring a jacket, a sweater, a fleece, that their name is inside of it.
And I'm going to jump in right here just for a second, parents, because as I was, and this is a timely reminder, because I know starting this Sunday, we've got a pretty significant cold front that's coming in where we're starting to talk about temperatures around 19 degrees. We will send children out to recess and carpool unless the National Weather Service has issued a warning for our area. It hurts our hearts as teachers and as a principal when we see students who come to school with no jacket knowing that they're going to go play outside for 30 minutes in cold weather like this. So I realize some of your children might push you on this a little bit, but it is so important that they come prepared to be able to play outside and to sit at carpool during those times.
Another reminder is our music concert has been scheduled for Wednesday, February 13th at 6:30. Just to note that this is a required attendance for all first graders, and we look forward to seeing you there.
And a few other reminders. We all love those cute little cat ears that students wear to school. However, please make sure those stay at home. If your child does bring them to school, we'll ask them to put them in their cubbies. And also other things to leave at home. And once again, if we do see them, we'll ask them to put them back in their cubbies, or things like any kind of distracting bracelets or watches and toys. We just want to make sure that when everybody makes their way to school in the morning, that they're ready to learn.
Okay. So I know originally at the beginning of our webinar, I said that I would actually walk you guys through the school website. And for the sake of time, I want to give you guys a few minutes to ask some questions, because we're about to transition right into the second grade webinar. I will tell you that we do highly recommend that you do log into the school website and navigate to your child's homeroom teacher page. It is a wonderful resource for you, and it's something that also you just need to get into the habit of checking, because as your child continues to grow and develop through the elementary school, more and more information is going to be placed on that web page that is going to be relevant for you and also your child. I know many of you have older students who are in upper elementary, middle school, and maybe even some of them in high school, and you understand the use of the website as children get older. So at this point, we are going to transition over to questions. So as a reminder that you use that chat option down at the bottom of your screen. Type in a question. I will be the moderator, and I will read the question aloud for everyone, and then I'll present it to the teachers. If it's a teacher, they should answer, or we'll jump in as well. If you have a technology question, Mr. Nam is in the room, and he is our technology guru and could also answer that for you. So we are going to give you guys a few minutes now to type in questions if you have one. Here we go. So I have a question. Which Puffin app do we download?
That is a great question. To my knowledge, I didn't realize there were more than one, so we're kind of looking it up right now to sort of see which one.
Mr. Nama's doing his fast fingers to find this out for you. And there's also a question about the Puffin app. Does the Puffin app and Raz work on Amazon Fire?
Yes, so it's going to be the Puffin web browser.
And I can actually answer the question about the Amazon Fire, because my niece Kaylee, who's in kindergarten here, received an Amazon Fire tablet for Christmas. Against her aunt's wishes. But anyway, and what we have found is Raz Kid actually works fine if you go through your web browser. The one that we have had trouble navigating to using the Kindle Fire is the Reading Eggs. So if you are using the Fire, you would use your web browser and just go to the Reading A to Z website and log in normally. I am at my house trying to find a workaround for Reading Eggs. So at this point, whenever Kaylee would like you to do Reading Eggs, we just do it on either a desktop computer, a regular laptop, or my iPad, and they work just fine going through either the app, because there is an app for iPad both for Reading A to Z as well as Reading Eggs. Another question, will the GoMath program and other technology programs be available all summer, even before the summer math packets? Absolutely. You have paid for access to those online portals, so you will have access to that through the summer. You would just use the username and password that you were issued this year. It will not transition over to the next school year until once school started in August, because your child's second grade teacher then has to move that account over and create a new username and password for your child that will then give them access to the second grade content. Great question. And I am going to go ahead and wrap this up, because I'm sure our second grade teachers are going to be chomping at the bit to get in this room to prepare for their webinar. Just a reminder that this has been recorded, and Mr. Nama, at the end of today, probably in tomorrow, will be uploading this to YouTube. Once he, excuse me, sends me the link, then I will upload it to the elementary school parent page. We'll send an announcement out to elementary school parents letting you know it's available. It'll also be shared with the first grade teachers so that they will also upload the link to their individual web pages. But once again, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. If you have any follow-up questions to the webinar or any of the content you heard, please do not hesitate to reach out to one of us. We are happy to follow up with you. And also, if you have any recommendations for this webinar format, this is the second year we're doing this. We'd love feedback from you because we're seeing it on our end as the ones who are presenting, but are not seeing it on your end as those who are watching it. So I hope all of you have a wonderful afternoon, and we look forward to seeing all of you soon. Thank you.